Hello everyone. Today we have Dr. Sowmiya with us from who secured the All India rank 426 in the recent NEET-PG examination. Hearty congratulations to you, Sowmiya.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, pleasure is ours. And after seeing the result, what is your first reaction and how did you feel?
I was very excited, sir. I didn't expect this rank at all. So I was very happy and tears of joy was there. My parents, everyone was very happy. I couldn't believe
Happy parents and congratulations to your parents also. And also
thank you so much, sir. Thank
and
you.
your teachers.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sowmiya, can you describe your journey in short?
I kind of started my preparation only after my internship, sir. Earlier, I didn't have an idea on PG preparation. So after a post internship, following my seniors' advice, I joined ADRPLEXUS. And initially, because of the lockdown, the COVID and stuff, we had some difficulties. We had to get adapted to the online class, everything. We didn't expect that, and that was not what we expected. We were expecting a live class, but eventually we had time also to adapt. So initially, slowly we got adapted to the classes. Then I didn't have a particular plan. Like I didn't know which subject to start, which one to give first priority. But I just stuck to what ADR, which plan, whichever subjects they did, I just stuck to the subject, and I completed the subjects in the same order. And after that, while revising, I chose my own orders, and then post online sessions, I did my revisions repeatedly along with the ADRPLEXUS. And finally, after a very long time, we gave this attempt, and I got one delightful result. That's all.
Okay. So here, if I ask you, what is your study plan on the day of classes when the classes are happening? Between the breaks, between a subject to subject, and what is your study plan during your revision?
In the morning, post classes, I used to do question banks related to the topic, and I used to make notes from them also. If some points are missing, I used to add some salient points to my notes. And the next day, I used to wake up a bit early, like 2 hours prior to the class schedule, and I used to just read the notes once. I couldn't do
notes. When you mention notes, is the workbook basically.
Yes, sir. Workbook and whatever I could gather from the question banks also. Together, I used to make reading. We didn't have more time for that. Sometimes our classes were too long, so accordingly. But how much ever I could, at least a part of the notes I used to make sure I'll read, so that I'll stay in touch.
And between the preparation, between the subject days, that means like when you get a gap between a couple of subjects.
I used to do the subject that I've covered already. And in case if I finish that in 2 days, then I used to learn the previous subject, like just a glance here or there. Were some important topics whichever I felt difficult, I used to just revisit them.
So you just again there and then itself.
Yes, sir. But because of the online schedule, mostly we didn't have much big breaks between the subjects. We had almost every day we had to learn. But post the subject, maybe the current subject that we were doing, I will learn that. Or if I have extra time, I used to go and revisit the previous subjects that we done.
How many hours on average you used to study?
Beginning, I used to sit for like 2-3 hours only, sir, on a day. Then gradually, I increased to 4 to 6 hours. On average, I used to study like that. Close to exams, like during the proper revision time, when the classes were over, around 8 hours to 10 hours I used to stick. The previous month before exam, almost the entire day we will be studying except for some breaks in between. I used to have good sleep and all. I used to take adequate amount of breaks as well. Maybe 12 hours, probably 10 to 12 hours.
Good. Okay. Yes. And on an average day, how many MCQs you use it to solve?
Initially, I didn't have ideas about MCQs, except for the Q banks that I used to do. I didn't do any general MCQs, but I used to do the GTs alone regularly. Weekly once I used to give an attempt. Towards the end only, I started realizing the importance of MCQs. So I used to work around 50 MCQs, 50 to 60 on a day. Okay. The last month, some 70 MCQs also I would have done. I wanted to do 100, but I wanted to revise as well on the same day. I was scared, so I used to limit to 70.
Okay, but you were giving your grand test very regularly.
Yes, sir.
So while you are making, while you're attempting your grant test or the mock exams, all these things, your practice, you might be making few mistakes in the exam, right?
Yes.
How did you consolidate those things so that these mistakes won't be repeated?
I used to bookmark those questions actually, and when I'm when like first I'll do the general questions. All the questions I used to revise over the week. In the beginning, I used to take a week to revisit the grant test every day, little bit, few questions like that. On the last day, again the bookmark or the ones that I went wrong, I used to revisit them again on the last day of the week, so that that will be a reinforcement for me. And towards the end, since we that time we would have covered more subjects, so I used to revisit the questions faster. The ones some questions we would have already known, so I used to go a bit faster. So on the day of the grant test itself, I used to revise. I'll just bookmark the questions and revisit them before
Okay,
exam.
revisit and like revise so that like learning from mistakes so that it won't be
Yes,
repeated.
yes,
And so yeah, there might be many factors that might have contributed to your success. But if I ask you to pick
yes.
most important factors which contribute to the same, like what will you pick up?
Definitely the notes, whatever notes we got from the institute and the Q
You would
bank
say workbooks.
workbooks. Workbooks were very very useful,
How
and
did these
my
workbooks help
preparation.
you? How did these workbooks help you in your revision and the visual?
During class, I was also like, it made our notes taking very easy. So we had the pictures already there, part of the notes printed already there, so we could pay more attention to the class. Sometimes we were already learning. We had time to when our teacher was teaching, we were able to read as well. We had so much time. We weren't simply writing all the time, as well as even during the exam preparation. Sometimes it's very boring to open the same notes, looking at our same handwriting. But the workbook, it gives an impression of a book. So we have, it brings the interest in us. So we want to read the books, and it makes the reading also faster. So in
Faster.
that way, I am very thankful for the workbooks actually.
My workbooks are designed specifically for faster revision and also
Yes,
to
sir.
reinforce the visual memory, which helps.
Yes, sir. It helps us a lot very much. Very much.
Okay, and what else? The first is workbooks.
Apart from that, constant my family support, of course, because this time we were doing a different thing. We were all studying at home, so I had a peaceful environment at home. That is also a very main thing, so that I could
That's very
concentrate.
important.
I had
With a very family support, you can do miraculous.
Yeah, yes, and maybe if I had gone for coaching classes and if I had stayed away from home, I don't think this would have played a very important factor. But staying at home and attending classes, home environment mattered a lot. And apart from that, constantly I used to keep studying. Friends support as well, because even if I am sometimes demotivated, my friends used to come, hey, come, we'll do group study, and that's how we used to keep motivating each other. So all these three.
So it's very good, like group study and
Yes.
boosting morale of each other. Like whenever
Yes.
it's very important. It's good that you got a good friend circle and wish them
Definitely.
to get the same. Okay.
Yes.
And Soumya, during your preparation, have you ever doubted your ability to succeed?
Once in a while, especially during the last stages of preparation, when the GT ranks kept becoming stagnated. At one point, I didn't see any improvement. I used to keep learning, but the ranks were just uh, there was not much variation. So
Improvement.
at that time, I was not much improvement. So I used to feel very bad. I thought I've come this far. Every day, every week, it used to improve, but at one point, it was stagnating. That too close to my exam, so I was very worried. At that time, I really felt I'm not going to make this. Time I was feeling very bad, but with I was talking to my seniors, friends, everyone was telling they felt the same way. So through their support, I somehow overcame that.
Fantastic. And how much time do you think that one requires for a serious preparation for this examination?
In post internship till the exam, that time would do like 9 months, 10 months. I think that itself would be apt. We had lots of time, so our
That is
batch is not the right one. This
yeah,
question is
in
not.
fact, that is special because you face
Yes.
one of the toughest times of the world.
Yes, sir. So we're not able to. So I'm not the right person to tell you the stipulated period because we had too much of time to prepare. But I think by Jan itself, we could have been ready. If we were focusedly reading, we could have been ready by between March to Jan. We could have made it.
Okay, so how did you face this problem of or this stress due to repeated postponements or cancellations? How did
The same thing, sir. Every time when we used to face this postponement, all of us like will be very tired. We'll be fed up with this. No more studying. We won't even feel like touching a book and all. But again, friends only. We used to form groups. We'll start doing group study for 2 weeks at least. We used to just take some random topic or whichever is difficult. I used to teach them or they used to teach me. For the sake of group study, we used to start studying. Otherwise, it will be very depressing to even look at the books, especially the April postponement and all. It was very bad. We were feeling very bad, and the COVID times,
2 days
everything together.
before?
Yeah, that was a very big. It's a painful moment for us. Actually. But post that, mostly it's with my friends only. We used to be telling both all of us are feeling the same way. Okay, just because they are there, I used to. Okay, my friend is studying. I should also study. If I don't go, she will miss something. So I should make sure I am there. So that's how we started. We'll start it like that, and then we'll start doing our individual study as well. Slowly, after every postponement, we used to have one breakdown kind of thing. We used to when pause, and then gradually we'll pick up. Initially, it is with the group studies only. It helped me a lot. What I did.
Very good, Soumya. As you mentioned about the group studies, I just want to know, like, what is your ideal, your perception? What is the ideal group size, and how do you use it to prepare?
Yes, maximum 2 to 3, sir. Not more than that. Otherwise, it becomes gang study. That is of no use. Just one more person with you, or two of them who do, and they should be of the same learning pace as you. That's where, like, you should choose friends like that. Your best friend may not fit in that frame. It's not like you do it with your best friends. You do it with people who go on the same pace. And I benefited a lot from group studies, so I would encourage group studies because I used to come up with one point. My friend used to remember another. She used to relate it. We used to write it down in the notes again. Subjects, especially volatile subjects like pharmacology, biochemistry, and all. I think I wouldn't have managed without group study.
My next question is going to be: how did you, as you said, like this problem of volatile memory? How did you tackle? Yeah, in addition to the group discussing that helps you to reinforce anything else?
Like as always, I used to do the stick notes part. The difficult classifications, I used to stick notes here and there and revisit them. Apart from that, I used to do an integrated learning kind of. One topic I learned in anesthesia. If the same thing comes in pharmacology, like same sort of drugs, I used to come back to my anesthesia notes again. I used to first try to recollect what we learned in anesthesia. If I don't remember, I used to go to the notes again. I'll jot it down. Same with psychiatry. In psychiatry also we learn some antipsychotic drugs. Again in pharmacology. So I used to revisit and learn. Some topics will be repeated in medicine as well as pediatrics. I used to link them all. If I learn the topic in medicine, I'll have my pediatric note as well beside me. So in that way, it was some kind of reinforcement. And apart from that, if I find anything confusing or any concept very difficult to remember, I used to frame it like a question and put it on my peer groups. I used to share it with them. For a day, I will not answer them. On that day, I will not give them the answer. The next day also, I won't give them. The third day, again, they'll be pestering me for the answer. By then, I would have forgotten the point again. So again, I'll go check my notes and make sure that I give them the right answer. So in that way, I was mandatorily, I had to revisit the notes for their sake.
At the same time, your friends also have an opportunity.
Friends also benefited, and they were also sharing questions like that. So through this is how I used to remember and group studies, especially group studies, definitely it helped me a lot for volatile subjects. The way sometimes we discuss this point now. So this has come. Oh, we had a mnemonic like this. No, we used to have funny mnemonics and all together. So all that helped me a lot.
Fantastic, Sowmiya. And what is your advice to the future aspirants?
Future aspirants, definitely this is something very important in their life. It's a crucial thing. They can make it. Everyone can give an attempt, and it's not always about hard work. You should do some smart work as well. We should try to identify where we are going wrong in the early phase itself. What is not, and the GTs, like we should use the GT as a measuring scale, where we are going, how our progress is going. Through that, we have to identify in the early stage itself what mistakes we are doing. We have to see to that, and through persistent efforts, we can make this. And one more thing, and it should not be, they should not get too much stressed over this. That is a very important thing. It should not be like, this is my life. This is an important part of the life, but they should not pour too much stress over that. That itself will hinder our preparation. Too much stress. So they should try to be stress free. This is important. They have to do continuous hard work, some smart work as well, and that's what they should identify where they are going wrong in the early stages itself and work accordingly. That will help them a lot. Otherwise, not to get very stressed.
Fantastic. So just to send your message to the aspirants, like one, they have to endurance, the self-confidence that they do that, trust themselves out, grant as many revision as possible. That is what.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Sowmiya, can you please share your views about ADRPLEXUS and its role in success?
Okay, sir. ADRPLEXUS, I think that's one good choice that I've made. Through my seniors' advice only, I joined it. I'm not at all regretting a little bit also for joining ADR. That's the best choice I've made. In particular, what I liked very much about ADR is how they receive our feedback. They're very receptive. They're very keen on collecting feedback and implementing them as well. I remember an occasion where for one particular subject, we were not comfortable with the staff that they allotted for us, the teacher. Then all of us, with the feedback they received, in 3 to 4 hours time, they actually changed it to another teacher. Like, I was very shocked. I didn't expect this much reception for our feedback. Thought they will just improvise on some teaching methods or something, but I didn't expect that. That astounded me. And then, as I already told you, the workbooks, very, very, very helpful concept. And the leaderboard, I think this was the first year they've introduced. Initially, it was like one competitive mind. How I should go see how much we are performing, how good we are. That was the intention for me. But later, when I first gave my initial attempt, that is when I realized how much it helped me in time management. I used to be very bad at time management. I never used to complete questions on time. But after doing regular leaderboard, without my knowledge, I've improvised my time skills. And again, the 5 a.m. sessions, new things they used to bring. Sometimes when we are already, we are not having any mood to learn and all that, they used to make us wake up for some reason. Oh, they will revise. Everyone is revising. We have to revise. So I used to wake up early in the morning, 1 hour revision, and then that will set one mood to study for the day. It was very helpful. And the notes also, we were asked to write separate topics every day. Yes. Though in the end I was not doing it much, I thought I didn't have time for that. But in the beginning, I used to diligently follow 10 topics I used to give. I used to prepare notes. They were also very useful. In the last minute when we were, yes, sir. In the last minute when we were to look at the notes, it will look scary. So much is there, but to look at the jotted down points, it was very useful. So all these the new innovations that they come up with and how they receive our feedback, that is what I like very much about ADR.
Fantastic.
And I'm very thankful to them. Yeah.
Just to say that you mentioned the workbooks, which help for rapid revision and also for the visual memory, and the leaderboards are basically curated in such a way. In the 30 to 40 seconds, you have to read the question, pick and options. Otherwise, you will miss that. Unless the question is there, like in the same time, if for a question, if 10 minutes time, 5 minutes time is given, anyone can answer by eliminating. But the challenge is picking up with the shortest possible time. That helps you time management, which you effectively pick it up, and it's useful. And like you have, if you have done, that feel of we had done something in the morning itself will drive you the whole day that we have already accomplished something. Again, when you mentioned the topics for the leaderboard, if you see the 30 important topics for every day which we give, for which you chart on the notes, it will be easier for your revisions. If I come up with this grand test and leaderboard examinations and all are the important topics which we give cumulatively, how much percentage of the questions in your INSA or NEET exam are there from these topics? Direct or indirect repeats or topic repeats?
I'm not very sure about the number as such, but I felt many questions were familiar. I felt comfortable. I was not like, this is very new, this is very new. I was familiarized to the questions. I'm not able to exactly give the count. I don't remember so much this percentage, but it was very useful. Whatever questions we had seen, the questions were like we've already seen them. This has already been asked. Many of the questions were like that. So I didn't it gave some familiarity in the exams.
It's fantastic. And among all the faculties of ADRPLEXUS, who are the one who are the faculty who inspired you the most, or like you like the most?
I liked many of them. Almost all of them were good teachers. For me in particular, I used to like I liked Sarath Balaji sir very much. The way he conducts classes, he used to give the questions, and he used to ask for differential. So it made us think and keep us interested in class. And he inspired me also very much. And I used to like Vandana ma'am. Vandana ma'am's class. A subject like pathology could not have been interesting without her. So to name a few, if I would say both of them, otherwise I like all of them. Murugan sir, Ismail sir, Azam sir, yourself, everyone. Each of them had their own. If you ask me to name a few, one or two, I will give them one.
That's fantastic. And Sowmiya, if I say, what is the role of the mock exams and grad test universities?
Yes, the mock, I already told, mock exams and grant tests, it acted like a gauge for my preparation. I didn't know where I am, in which position I am. So every time I used to look up for the grant test results, where I'm going, have I improved from last time? But it has some importance like this. But at one point, I just realized grant test alone is not what is describing a performance, because as I told you, in the end, it was like stagnating for a long time, and I used to be very depressed. What is this? We are not improving. But that didn't matter at all in the last exam. In the last grant test alone, suddenly my rank shot up. So at that time, at one point, I felt it's stagnating. But in the initial days, it definitely acted like a god. I wanted to know where I am standing, we should not take it to the heart. We should not be like, oh no, we are so back, we are so much behind everyone. That should not be the attitude. It should be like we should compare it with our own performance. My previous grant test, so many were correct. This grant test, okay, I made something like that. So grant test plays a very important role, and the attitude towards grant test should also be right. You should not, if it starts panicking us, then it's of no use doing the grant test. So we should see it like it's just a measure of our performance. We should not take it too much to the heart.
Fantastic, Sowmiya. And one last question: which you're interested in, and like where you opting for?
That only I'm in a dilemma already. I would like to do pediatrics, OG. I'm wavering between both. If I get it somewhere in Delhi, I would be very happy. Either of the course. I'm aiming for some Delhi college. If I get it there, I'll be very happy.
Fantastic, Sowmiya. We wish you all the very best, and we wish you get your desired branch of College of choice. And
thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations to your family members, parents, and everyone, and teachers who built the foundation from your schooling and graduate teachers. Once again, hearty congratulations. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. So thanks for everything. Particular thanks to Arun sir as well. He was the one who coordinated everything and kept pushing us through the difficult times as well. He used to keep motivating us a lot. You and Arun sir. Every time we used to have motivation sessions as well. Forgot to mention that. For everything, they used to be pushing us. He used to ask us to do exercise and all. Listening to his advice only, I inculcated some practices as well. It's very useful in that way. Thanks for giving me this opportunity also.
Pleasure is ours, Sowmiya. All the very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.